Right, say something funny so I can put it in the bit before.
And then the pig says to the horse, I'm Daphne the 10-year-old. I'd call it an off-the-cuff joke, but I'm not wearing sleeves.
No, I'm not going to do a polite chuckle for that one, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, next time you're doing your set at the Revenge and you're like yucking at Screen Queen,
My
no,
set?
that's for me.
My set? What? I'm going out telling a few knock-knock jokes? My set? Oh, aren't you so excited to talk about this really jam-packed episode?
I like my jam, I like my episodes. Not on my brain.
Not on today. God, I rewatched that recently. Charlie Hides is actually the funniest contestant that's ever been on Drag Race. I play the clip of Charlie Hides interrupting Naya, just going, okay, well, thank you very much. It's time to come up to commercial. That plays in my head probably about 10 times a day. I can like barely hear you.
Can you hear me enough to like get what I'm saying?
No, not really.
I
understood that, but... Are you laughing right now or are you breaking up?
That was really low.
Did you like... Hello everybody! My name is Daphne.
And I'm Tayris Mongardi.
Wait. How many episodes are we in? And we still can't do a fucking intro right?
Also, what is it? I can hear some jingly jangle in yours. Like...
Oh, it's my ice cubes.
Oh, that's... I can literally say... Jingle jangle. Oh, in Riverdale, we did come back to Rivergag. In Riverdale, there's this drug ring, but like they can't call it like a drug name. Like, it's not like, oh, pass me the K or whatever. So they call it jingle jangle. Like the kids are doing jingle jangle.
Pass me the K. This just in from cool hip Tayris.
I'm such a polite girl that I don't do it.
I will not include this, but I've fully seen you before. Don't even try it. Welcome back to the gag. We haven't got a gig. At least we got the gag.
I didn't quite cough like a man, but I didn't even get. Wait, I didn't even get to introduce myself because you said I'm Daphne. No, we haven't even done it. When do I get? Mama, I'm Tayris.
Oh, come on.
Black lives still matter.
We start off with. I don't even know how we construct this episode. This is such a piss poor episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, some people are into that.
It was. Don't try and be like, oh no, stop.
I grew up in Eastbourne. I'm familiar with water sports.
Be so rude to my RuPaul.
You came out well on good terms, you know. Not good enough to be on season 3, but good news.
Yeah. Not good enough for him to invite you on a holiday this year. Maybe next year, Bo.
Yeah, I'm going to
Maybe you'll finally get your cruise spot.
Well, if I don't get on season 4, I know what happened.
Shit. Oh my god, I've got this new ring. Oh god. I've got this new ring light and I'm trying to figure out all the settings and now I've messed everything up. I'm now like multicolored. So they walk into the workroom.
After
Who went? Who?
She's the girl you wanted to be. Elliot with 2 T's. Get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're really missing Elliot. And then RuPaul comes in and he says, hey guys, do you want to waste a 20-minute segment on...
Don't belittle the work of media,
bullshit?
Daphne. That's not a waste.
Okay, wait. Well, okay, you could do it then if you believe. Are you a believer?
I believe I look sickening tonight. My mum's really into them. And for a while, she's like, Tyler, I'm really into crystals. And I was like, oh, work. And then she'll be like, oh, I'll be like, what should I have dinner tonight? She'll be like, ask the crystal. I'm like, I don't want to fucking ask your crystals, mum. I don't know. I mean, I loved it. Good for her, because I know she watches these, right? But I don't want to be like, oh, amethyst, mac and cheese, or steak bake, you know? And I remember there's this time I was like, she was really into decoupage. And do you know what decoupage is? It's like where you like glue, like, yeah. I remember one time like leaving my wallet at her house and being like, oh, well, I'll come back and get it tomorrow. And I came back, she's like, here's your wallet. And it was decoupage.
Stop it.
And it was like, she'd got all these magazines that she'd found and cut out little Pokemon things and decoupage them to the wallet. And I was like,
that's cute.
Yeah, but I was like 15, so at the age of like, I still love Pokemon, don't get it twisted. But I was trying to pretend I was too cool for it. And I was like, oh, thanks, mum.
Do you know what I hate? Is assholes that have a Himalayan lamp and then they make you lick it when you go round.
Mama, nobody's ever made me lick their lamp. Not till tonight, maybe.
You know the one that made the big rock of salt.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh, if you lick it, it tastes like salt. I guarantee every single time I go around someone's house and they've got that there glaring in the middle of the fucking coffee table, and they're like, did you know it tastes of salt if you lick it? I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that. Lick it then. Lick it. Go on then.
That's like,
lick it.
that's gross. That I'm
Not if you have this exact same conversation with every single house guest that comes into this place. Like, do you know the area of the lamp that has not yet been lit? Can I reach that point?
Well, it's like the Blarney Stone, isn't it? Like Ireland, there's that like famous stone. I remember seeing it on Johnny Bravo, and you're supposed to lick it, and it gives you good luck. But now the locals are like, don't lick it.
What's it?
The Blarney Stone, and they're like, don't lick it because people piss on it, like when they're drunk. So because they know people give out, tourists give out, oh, let me lick this rock.
I don't think I've ever got luck from licking something.
I mean, I've got something else from licking someone's rocks, but. Oh. I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Oh no! I just like a bit of panic came out my nose. RuPaul comes.
Oh wait, my bum's so sweaty. Oh.
He clicks his fingers and suddenly they have to talk to this lady who tells their fortune. She tells them a bunch of things that she's clearly been fed.
Producers.
Like, ooh, which one of you does not like the other? It's like, what? Gay people dressing up as drag queens in a reality TV show, one of them doesn't like each other. Gag
But
worthy.
not even that, like...
You don't need to be a fucking psychic to work that out.
When she was like, who grew up on a farm? And Utica was like, oh my god, that's me. When I was editing that combination, the difference between episode 1, within 20 seconds of talking about Drag Race, and episode 8 takes us 6.5 minutes to begin to... But I'm having a great time.
Oh, I'm having a lovely time, girl.
So following Mystic Meg's predictions, Ru pairs up the teams. Which pair off the bat do you think is going to be the baddie bees?
Utica and Simone, I can't imagine how two creatives like that. To me, they're like the two visionaries of the season. Like they're the two girls that have like, they really think everything out.
Even like another pair like Gottmik and Candy, where Candy's mug's been super hit and miss. So sometimes I'm like, wow, she's stunning. And sometimes I'm like, munter. But munter kinte.
Yeah, and I was surprised to learn that she was a makeup artist.
I was like, bitch, where?
Where? On the fucking train runway, where? They're just kind of like talking like, how am I gonna make you? I completely zoned out of this because for me it was like they all just showed every single runway look like half an hour before the runway was.
Yeah, but...
And so I was like, okay, well I feel like there's not a lot of like surprise to this. We already saw what everyone was gonna wear.
But look at you and I are matching for them. Oh no, keep going.
Oh yeah, no. So we were gonna do a little Freaky Friday moment. However, I'm not doing blackface. I'm not wearing braids.
And I want to have a polished mug tonight. I tried to warm to the idea of it. I just think I'd look ugly. Not that your makeup is a gift on you. Me, my face is so big, like a bit of liner and a triangular nose is not gonna cut in my mug.
We were even gonna like contemplate like socially distanced meeting up to like swap clothes and like it's not gonna work out, babes. Like we're both wearing black and white and ginger hair. Like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the family.
Got black and white running through my veins, innit?
Talking about that, why the hell did RuPaul just look at Mick and go, "You look Black Irish"? What? I'm grasping at straws to try and remember what happened in the workroom. Oh, okay. Utica is getting very in her head about doing BAPs, which I've never seen the film. I've not heard of the reference.
Okay, yeah. So I've never watched the film. I am very familiar with the reference. Last time the like Afro thing with the squirrels, I was like, what are you talking about? I do think Utica was in the right to be cautious about being like, I'm not a black American. At least Bob Ross is white, but you're literally asking me to dress up as like a black American princess. And I know like Ru and Simone are like black people giving you permission to do it, but she's also being like, okay, but you both have like an end goal with this. And like, Simone, like you think this look is sick, and it is sick, so you're saying I want you to do it, but you're not necessarily being entirely socially conscious of this, like Tom, Dick and Harry, who might be like, oh I don't, or like Tomisha, Dickisha, Harisha, who might not be like, I don't like this.
What I will say, I think it was absolute bollocks, the piece of advice that Ru gave, because he couldn't give a shit. He was like,
come from a place of love.
I guess if you're worried about that, just love it, and as long as you love it, it'll be alright. I'm like, that's not really the most conscious advice to be giving, especially as someone as like high up as RuPaul. Yeah. Like it just very much felt like, oh, calm down, get over it. I'm fed up with all these like annoying young people getting offended. It felt like it came from a place of that. And they do this whole thing where they walk on the runway and try and teach each other how to walk like each other. And I thought that this little activity that they did was to their detriment. Every single person, bar a couple, thought so much and was so in their head when they were coming down the runway, and you could tell almost all of them were trying to think so hard about how to walk. Just fucking walk.
But
just
walk. Is it people teaching them how to walk? Like when Denali is like, do this skater thing where she's like hobbling, I'm like, oh, don't do that. Like,
I want her to literally skate on the runway.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't put the word literally in that sentence when she's not literally putting on skates. Like, also, can we talk about Denali, aka the gayest person in the world? There is no need to be adding Aina after
it gives me big
She looks gorgina in this dressini, Anya.
It gives me big Joey Graceffa energy, like, oh my goodness, gracious. The phrase cosplay sends me. It's cosplay and steampunk that young Tyler was desperately trying to avoid in his like weeb chan aesthetic. And even now, like every time I think of like, this is my problem with Halloween. I am neither ook nor spook. And like when people start trying like Halloweeny looks, I'm like, I don't want to look like all grotty and grotesque. And then I don't want to be like, cosplay chan!
I can attest that Tayris does not fuck with Halloween because of that. Our last working Halloween together, you literally came around my house like half an hour before we were meant to be in the gig. I'm doing a little clown look, I'm really feeling it.
She's like, clown look every week.
Let's get some bandages out, let's be a mummy then. And she just like wraps a couple of bandages.
This is my version of you, right? I've definitely seen it in person, I know it's spot on. She'll be doing a number and be like, she does this with her nose and her mouth, like.
Oh, I know the fucking fish. Yeah. I don't do that often.
You do.
Wait, let me do it.
You do it enough for you to recognise it as you.
For not even saying it. Let me do an impression of you. Oh wait, actually no, I want to keep my eyelashes on.
That was one time.
I was thinking about this the other day, because obviously when you come back for All Stars Talent Show episode 1, you're going to be doing the steel drums. Mm-hmm. I have no talent. I would waddle up to the mic and I would do a rendition of Sissy That Walk, but the kazoo version.
Like Joe Black? Okay.
Oh wait, don't interrupt me, okay? I was silent during your steel drums. You could have the exact same respect for me. Yeah? Alright.
Are you done?
Should we bring it to the runway? I literally
Are we already there?
Else. Then nothing else happened. Yeah, we were already there. Nothing. What happened? What happened in this episode? What even was the emotional talk?
It was. I wasn't emotional. It was like, this is what I'm learning from my sister. What have you learned from me in our time of being friends?
Oh, do you know what? This isn't even a joke. This is real. The one thing I've learned from you, Miss Queen of the Gift of the Gab herself, if you want something, DM someone. Tayris is the queen at this. Tayris is like, I'll be like, oh, I really want to like work with this person or like blah blah blah, and I'll be like, oh, I don't think I should message. It's gonna make me look bad. She'll be like, yeah, I want to do a collab with someone. Message them. It could be anyone. Like, and she'll be like, message them, and then most of the time, it fucking turns out.
What I have learned from Daphne, firstly, is that is being more emotionally kind.
Oh, we're getting a list.
I think you said we're getting a lift. I was like, go fuck yourself. No, what I've learned with Daphne, firstly, is to be more emotionally kind to myself as an artist and as a human being. I feel like she's someone who's very good at like trying to prioritise not only her own emotional health, but also her own like sense of creative worth. And maybe, you know, she doesn't always practice she preaches, but definitely for me, I know I'm someone who's very like hard on myself artistically and critically, especially in the last year where I'm really trying to elevate what I'm doing. And she's definitely been a really lovely soundboard and like example of how to like be kinder to how you should be kinder to yourself, which also kind of then springboards onto me saying that I feel like
oh my gosh,
Daphne to me, and guys, I hope you're believing the same watching at home, has been such a like lovely creative partner. And like I look at people like Bob and Monet and all these things, and then like, I remember when I started doing drag, I was like, oh, I really wish I can't wait to have somebody who I find who like I bounce off in that way. And I feel like even with people like Bob and Monet, the drag I do is so similar, but I feel like you and I are really struck this like really unique and like lovely repartee and balance of like having drag that's so like drastically different from one another, but I feel like really benefits and influences one another like creatively and emotionally, and like I love this creative partnership.
Absolutely, yeah, fucking yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. We struck out. We did get quite lucky. And like in terms of like we're in the exact same club. We started drag near enough at the same time. Our drag aesthetics are so different, yet our personalities. I think our personalities out of drag are pretty different anyway. Like,
yeah.
I think we're just like we could not be more two different people. Like aesthetically and like personality wise. But I think we got very lucky. Honestly, genuinely, there's no one I prefer working with. Even though you're late to everything.
So onto the runway. First up is Rosé as Tina Burner.
Don't you mean Tranica Rex? This is how I'm judging this runway in terms of here's my criteria, because this is a really weird challenge to judge, because half of it is on how they deliver it, half of it is on how the other person made them look, so it's not actually their fault. Imagine the looks coming out on the original person. Okay? I wouldn't be like, wow, this was Tina Burner because it looks like shit. It was Tina Burner. If Tina Burner came out in here, I would still be like, why is she still in the competition? So to me, just because it's on another body, I still had the same negative reaction. This was so evident that Tina Burner does reveals for the sake of doing reveals. In Rosé's commentary, she couldn't even say why there was a reveal. She was like, I'm coming out in this little 50s like housewife dress, yada yada, and then boom, reveal. And she doesn't say what it goes into or why it goes into that, or be like, boom, I've gone from a normal housewife and now I've gone into like lingerie. She didn't like say anything like that. She was literally like, and now I have a reveal.
But what a clunky confession to like, and boom, this narrative I've created is from demure housewife to sexual boudoir goddess.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Could make it better. You could be like, I'm coming down the runway as a sad little housewife who's getting no attention. So guess what I do? Bam! Get rid of it and make the boys come and come. Like, I don't know, like, something.
I do. I'm so bored of this like demure older woman into sexy thing. Oh my God, did I ever tell you about this woman at Mackey's? It always touches me.
Wow, so you're a misogynist. Cool.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the woman who always touches me at work?
No. Have you told your boss?
It's this woman called... No, I have. I've made her cry multiple times. I'm not going to say her name. Say their names!
Say her name, I'll bleep it out.
No, so... Her name... Do you promise you'll bleep it out? I can't get out of work again,
I promise I'll bleep it out.
Because you didn't bleep out I mentioned Sharon the slag, and then you were like, oh, Sharon, she like a zit. And then she walked you like, Tyler. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I mean, she would have gotten it. She would have known it was her because it was French. And that's beside the point. No, this woman... And I always call her... So firstly, it always used to be her and I on the early shifts, and she'd like waddle off, so it would be like 7 a.m, it would just be me and her on the drive-through, but it would just be me doing drinks and the food and handing it out the window, and I'm like, where is she? And she sat down having a coffee with a customer, and I'd be like, Blankina, like, come over here, what are you doing? She's like, oh, sorry, sweet, and that's how she talks, like, she says sweet, and she says that when I look, can you move your lips? And she always, whenever she walks past, she always touches the small of your back. And I'm like, whoa. Sometimes I have these like moments where I think like, one day I'm just gonna get a letter in my locker like, meet me in the boudoir, whatever. I'm gonna get into the stockroom, and it's gonna be her like all in red. It's gonna be all like in red roses. Like, oh, I know. Instead, it's gonna be all black and white, and she can only speak French. Like, je t'aime, and I'm like,
instead of roses, it's just ketchup packets.
Next up is Tina as Rosé. It was fine, like, I mean, I'm so bored of this zip tie moment. I did it, Trinity the Tuck did it, we all done it, wall.
I didn't enjoy this makeup. I felt there wasn't enough in the eye. I mean, I know I like this eye, but...
I think you hate Tina Burner when she's got her usual slap on, hey Mark, she's got this on, not enough, like...
Next up we have Miss Olivia Lux as Denali. I got Denali straight off the bat.
Yeah, T, and I don't even think it's just like the hair, because as you've seen it before. I think like she said, like Lonnie Love says, like, I know you for the tool. I was like, you've been here like twice, girl. You don't know for nothing. Like, but I was like, I mean, it was very Denali, like that whole skatey vibe, except for the weird skate shuffle along the floor. They comment on the blending of her makeup. I mean, T, I also think that Denali's makeup, especially around her nose contour, isn't usually like amazingly blended.
I don't feel like it was unblended enough to warrant a comment. I feel like there was more dodgy makeup up on the stage that they could make comments on. I feel like perhaps they were in the bottom. Again, it was Olivia's fault in my eyes. She didn't sell any of it. She looked miserable. I don't know if she thought that Denali was like the cast depressant or like. She literally just came out and was like, well, I guess I'm icy, spicy, a little bit dicey. Like, it's just also like, it was so boring. And like, she's meant to be like the theatrics queen, and she even like made a point of being like, this dress is va-va, so I guess I've got to make the presentation voom. And I was like, really? That was your voom?
I mean, speaking of Denali, her makeup, I think the problem was, no, Olivia Lux.
That is a man. That is a man.
I think the problem was Olivia Lux is someone who really just uses like the makeup on top of their face, in my opinion. She doesn't like carve out a new one, which is fine if you've got the face for it. But we've seen. I
thought you meant injecting foundation.
No. No, we've seen before other people whose makeup is fine on themselves, but not on their makeup partner. Like Lemon in Canada's Drag Race. Her makeup on herself is fine, but because it just doesn't change any of her bone structures or anything, it just relies on what she has. So when you put it on someone else, it doesn't work. And I think that was what the problem was. Like, Denali in Olivia's makeup looked like Denali as a boy just hitting the club, like in a glittery eyeshadow. Do you know what I mean? That was
I feel so bad because obviously Denali is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Did you not get Doris from Shrek, the bartender? Next up was Simone as Miss Utica.
I think I did kind of like. I like the outfit more than I like the makeup. The makeup, I think
we just loved this episode, didn't we?
I mean, I definitely got Utica. I definitely saw it. I was like, oh yeah. If I was to guess who'd wear it, look on a rack. I'm like, who's wearing this? I'm like, oh, Ookie Kookie over there.
No, honestly, I was underwhelmed. I thought again, it's if Utica came out in this outfit, I'd be underwhelmed as well. So just because it's on Simone, it doesn't mean I'm gonna love it even more. I think like the way it moved was really pretty. I almost strained my eyeballs from how much I was rolling my eyes when she was explaining it in the workroom though. Like, things are really hard to get through, and especially this outfit, and that's the point. That's the actual point. It's meant to be shit. I'm like, you sure? It really annoyed me that the bodysuit underneath wasn't all the way up to her crotch. She had this like the exposed skin thing, but it was falling down. Like if you really look closely, like it wasn't all the way up to her crotch. It really irked me. Next up was Utica. Loved this look.
Yeah, same.
But again, this has nothing to do with Utica. This has got nothing to do with Utica.
But that's the point. They're making it on Barla.
Look.
I think, so head to toe together. Again, my only complaint, her makeup looks a bit cold. And I guess maybe because...
I didn't enjoy this makeup.
I think Simone, obviously, like, since she's off colour, doesn't have to deliberately go in and try and warm up the skin after. So I think... Again, stick a bit of blush on it, it'll be lovely. But I think probably as I head to toe...
It was the lips for me. And then... Honestly, controversially, I don't know if you agree, my winning team, we start off with got Mick as Candy. Obsessed with this.
She
sold the fuck out of that thing. Candy and Mick were the only two to really, truly sell the fuck out of this challenge as the other person.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, I mean... Gottmik's makeup was alright. I think it looked better with the sunglasses on. But I think I really like the outfit. And even when you saw Candy's next to it, like when she'd have the whole bodysuit and have... I think that's wise of her to I'll have the full like catsuit head to toe and give my partner the leotard so we can put them in some padding and you can really get like the drastic difference. And I was like, oh, work. I think this is really successful. I was glad that Gottmik could embody Candy without being too black. They'd be like, yeah, man, dear boy.
Someone needs to contact Carson Kresley and tell him that asking if something that is black related is a gang sign is not funny. Your white ignorance is not funny to me.
There's a difference between being confident and ignorant. You're being ignorant. And then lastly, Candy has got Mick. When I saw the still...
Loved it.
Yeah, when I saw the still of the image on Twitter, I was like... Because I didn't think it translated as well in a photo. And also, I guess like... From a silhouette perspective, I was like, I don't know if it's like right to have Candy without a bra, because I have a titty popping out. But once she came down the runway, I was like, oh, I live for it. I do live for it. And I think Candy, you know,
I live for the jiggle and the swiggle.
The high gorge sells a lot of it, you know. I think, I thought Candy pumped. I love his hair. The shape of his hair. There's more.
Like, I know Michelle mentioned it. It was branding as well.
Yeah,
These two, I knew exactly who it was straight off the bat. And I think the only other person, even though she was in the bottom, who looked instantly like it was Denali. Livia as Denali, yeah. But I think that every single part of this challenge they killed. And including the talking on the runway bit about who should go home. Can I just say, this moment truly for me solidified. I'm Team Candy. I fuck with Candy Muse. She is great television. She is wonderful television. Do you know what I mean? She knows exactly what she's doing. This is the
thing. This is why I get so ag when I see people sending hate to people online. Because firstly, I know I'm so gonna be someone who runs their mouth on this show and I'm like, right? But I also think that like, you want the people are like, when you see seasons like season 9, like boring, and you see seasons like season 11 where people are constantly kicking off like, oh, they're a piece of shit, they're a bitch, and I'm like, what do you want? Pick a name and stick to it. I mean, and like, I didn't watch Untucked, but Jack said that in Untucked, because you saw it or whatever, Denali says she doesn't even think that at all about Tina Singy. She said about the Tina look. She just said that. She's like, well, I want someone to go home. And Candy's got the worst track records. I'm going to say Candy's name. Right. And I was like, you bitch. I mean, good Tina. I was like, I wish we saw that. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was like, well, good for Candy for being like, that's wrong, Mama. Like, one of my favourite, 100%. One of my favourite Who Should Go Home Tonight and Why's ever is in season 10 when Eureka's like, I think Asia, because she's my big competition, and then everyone aside from the Vixen says the Vixen, and the Vixen's like, Eureka's a child, she should go home, and maybe that's why you like the character she played, like the baby and Honey Boo Boo, because they're children too, and I'm like, oh my god.
Also, what I loved about that was they were all awkwardly sitting down because it was the mermaid challenge.
Yeah, tea.
So they were all just like standing there with like twiddling their thumbs like a mother's meeting.
The mother's meeting. They always say that at work, and then when we're all sitting in the corner having a key, they're like, what's this mother's meeting going on here? I was like, alright, tell Ronald. Get Ronald to tell me off then.
Or Tina Burner.
How gosh. Simone and Utica for the win. I personally would have given it to Candy and Gottmik, but I feel like this also was not a bad makeover. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there were definitely a top 2 pairs and a bottom 2 pairs. And even the bottom 2... Okay, do you know what? Actually, I guess maybe I do agree with the bottom 2. Because initially I was like, oh no, Tina and Rosé. But I was like, they kind of look more like one another. Olivia's makeover, to me, was the worst in both makeup application and in relating to who she was with. And I guess, you know, it's like, well...
I guess it makes sense that this was the bottom 2, and fundamentally I'm not annoyed about that, but my unfair bias about wanting Tina Burner out of this competition, to me, anyone that produces makeup like that doesn't deserve to have national TV screen time.
Even off the show, the level of like wigs and outfits and stuff that she was able to present, but like her makeup's just so subpar in comparison. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and it's quite of an odd juxtaposition, because part of me is like, oh, I guess it's campy girls. I don't think that's necessarily a problem.
No. I hate this whole idea of like campy also being a word for shit drag queen. Like, if you come out looking like
that's
shit,
that's your like, campaign.
No, but yeah, but I'm not. I'm a wonderful drag queen. So Denali and Olivia are in the bottom, and we get Mary praise you. What did you think?
Which has already been done.
What did you think of this? Oh yeah, it was in season 1, wasn't it?
Let's just be real. Like, if it's a black girl song, especially a soul song, and you are not black, and you're against someone who is black, you are immediately at a disadvantage. Which is hoping I'm something that's going to play to my strength whenever I'm on season 19. But I do think Olivia got the win, and I think it's so frustrating to watch her, because as a TV narrative, it was not Denali's fault at all. No. And it's so frustrating when you see examples like this. And it's not the first time I think this even happened this season, that you see like it wasn't their fault and they've ended up in the bottom. But you know, all I can say is that it was a decent lip sync. Firstly, maybe this should have been the double save. And you know, I cannot wait to see Denali on an all-star season, as I'm sure she is essentially guaranteed from her run.
100%. She is the most all-stars candidate possible going.
But I did laugh thinking about Ru being like against Kimura, being like, anyone who lip syncs against soil themselves. Kind of reminds me of, even though Rosé's there, I think this season Denali's Big Jan.
Yeah, big time.
Fans at home being like, why are you not seeing what we're seeing?
Energy. And it's young ingenue comes in who wants it too much, and for some reason that's a criticism of that. It's like, you want this too much.
When I think of the next Chicago girl to cast, I would always think of like Lucy Stahl, school, or like Eva Young, but she has obviously been at pharmacy school, or like Alexis P. Bevels, or R.P. Tan, or like...
Oh, would love to see Alexa.
I just want to praise you, Denali, on an excellent performance on this season. But that is the end of this week's episode of...
The Guy!
Oh, God. That was aggressive, innit it? Jeez.
That
like kangaroos on the runway. Yeah, okay. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I know you're watching. There's at least 20 views down there, and if I don't see at least 20 comments, I'm coming to your house. I know where you live. I've got nails on. Skitchy scratch. You want that? I'm coming.
You know, it's just me replaying it over and over again. Thanks for watching. Love you so much.
But oh no, I've got a little bit of armpit hair. Not enough. Bye.